Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Arc, Chapter 23, I believe. And it was a good chapter overall, I thought, generally speaking anyways. We covered a lot of stuff, and in probably not a lot of time, really, considering it was just one chapter. But I think it got its point across. We're on to the next adventure, so to speak, and things can kind of start moving toward the next plot point device that they have set coming up. So yeah, so let's just get started. So, following action of the Water God Dragon fight, and it's basically everybody's chill. That's really how it kind of ends. Natsu's a little worried about his how he acted when he was eating those flames, and there's certainly some weird stuff going on with that, and they're gonna have to deal with that eventually, because now there's that like fear of like, well, the next time he eats any kind of flames, will he kind of go out of control or whatever, because he doesn't have very good memory of what happened anyways. So it's a little weird, but, you know, they'll get through it, as they always do. And we have a little moment between him, Happy, and Lucy, and apparently Lucy's boobs are burned because she was hugging him, and then there's a whole thing of him looking at her chest and being like, they look fine to me, Wendy healed them, blah, 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 blah. And then there's some dumb stuff with... Okay, so I have come to expect a certain amount of lowbrow humor from Fairy Tail in general. Lots of nudity stuff, lots of just, oh, ha, 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 Natsu's looking at her naked, blah, blah, blah. But then they come up with this dumb joke of, like, Natsu's like, oh, you know what, if they're still not healed, me and Happy could be happy to pee on it or whatever to help sterilize it. And it's just like, really, you're gonna have a golden shower joke? Really gross. I don't care for it. I'm okay for the most part with, like, whatever boob jokes you want to tell. Lowbrow humor is fine. Whatever. Don't care for the golden shower stuff. I don't care for that one bit. After all of that weirdness, we jump to the town, and they're kind of coming to terms with the fact that they were actually humans to begin with, and that it was Mercuphobia that turned them into fish, and had them transforming back and forth because of the whole water situation. And honestly, they're pretty chill with it. As long as it was their Water God Dragon being like, hey, I'm doing this for you guys, they're okay with it. They don't care. Everybody's kind of just chill, honestly, at this point. Mercuphobia shows back up, and he is wrecked. He's in crutches. He's pretty messed up. I honestly didn't think that he would show up, at least, like, in public after the fight. But he's back in his human form, and it seems to me, okay, so they say that he's lost all his magic, or at least he says it, and that he's basically a human at this point. I have a feeling that he's not completely done, though. I could see him suddenly getting his magic back if Toka suddenly loses connection with him and loses the ability to control his magic. So, we'll see how things go, but at the moment, he is essentially a human with horns. You know what? It's chill. I like Mercuphobia. I want to see more of him. I'm sure he'll be kind of a guiding light for them as they go on their journey to find the other 4 god dragons. I think he'll be a good asset to them, even if he can't fight anymore. I really like him a lot. I want to see more of him. The next thing that we see is Eleftheria back at his guild, the Magia Dragon, and he's looking at this big diagram circle of all the god dragons, and then something starts to glow in the center, and the Water God Dragon's part of the circle starts kind of changing color or like etching away or something like that, kind of showing that he has been defeated in a way, and he's basically just like, wow, maybe this team can actually do it. Maybe these people are finally going to end the 100-year quest and just finish it up. So let's look at this for a minute. Okay, so 100-year quest. Lots of mages have probably taken it. But nobody's been able to do it. Even Gildarts, who, I mean, granted, he ran into Acnologia, and that was a whole thing, but even Gildarts wasn't able to do it. So now you have Natsu and his friends being able to take down at least one of them. Granted, caveat of Natsu having some help from another god dragon, and even then it was some weird shenanigans with the fire. But it seems like they kind of they have set a milestone that has never been set before. So really good job to them. They're doing some good work here. Now, this all said, I am almost positive that Eleftheria is going to end up being a bad guy at the end. I think it'll be the whole thing where it's like, sure, you got Ignia, who's a real jerk, but Mercuphobia is a real chill dude. Why can't the other 3 dragons that we have not met be chill too? Maybe most of the time they're all just kind of chill, and Eleftheria is just a real dickhead, and I have a feeling he'll have a heel turn at some point, and whether it be him being just straight up evil, or whether it be like, oh, he wants to get rid of these dragons because he's so good or whatever. I don't know. Either way, I don't see him being purely good and just being in the background the entire time. I think eventually he will become a problem. We then move on to the Guild of Diablos, those 3 schmucks from way earlier in this arc. And we see a little bit about them and their guild, especially their guild master. And I want to say something before I go into detail about them, is the setup between moving on to Eleftheria and Magia Dragon and moving on to Diablos Guild. Very similar. They're both shots of the outside of their guilds, and they both have dragons, I assume, or I'm assuming that the Diablos Guild is like a skeleton of a dragon, but they both have dragons, and that's, I think, maybe a kind of a small hint that Eleftheria is maybe not as good as he makes people think he is. That being said, that's all speculation. Either way, we move on to the Diablos Guild, which is straight up evil, and we get some interesting stuff from them. First of all, I'm just going to say it, get it out of the way. I still hate the Skull guy. I do not like him at all. I think he's dumb looking. I don't care for him. I don't care for him at all. Sometimes designs are just like, oh, that's not my cup of tea. I think he looks dumb, and that's a shame because his abilities, Ash Magic, is really, really cool. I just don't care for a design, especially since the other 2, Kidia and, oh god, Armor Guy, really cool looking. They're cool. I just don't care for him. I just don't care for him. Anyway, we get to see their guild master, and his name is George Ryzen, and he's kind of a crazy looking dude. He's got scars all over his body, and he's kind of crazy, and he's like squeezing a steak and like getting the juices out of it, and he's getting the rundown about what happened from those 3 schmucks, and basically saying, hey, dragons cannot be around. We gotta go kill them. We gotta get them. You squeeze that juice and you bring me back some dragon meat. And he's basically sending them off to their next mission, which is assumingly to go after another god dragon. Obviously, he straight up says it, but like, presumably it'll be the same dragon that Natsu and the crew meet up with eventually. I'm sure that they won't have an off-screen dragon fight. I don't know. Either way, I'm sure that they'll meet up again, and it'll be like, oh, you guys again? Oh my god. Anyways, they're on to their next target. The final thing that we see is we go back to Magnolia, and Sting, Rogue, their 2 cats, Frosh and Lecter, as well as Angel and Yukino, and they basically show up and nobody's at the guild. Last time we saw the guild, Toka the White Witch, or Mage, or Wizard, had basically taken over the place, and things are not looking good for Fairy Tail at this point. So the whole guild is empty. They're there looking around, and they're like, this is weird. Maybe they're all on freaking missions, or quests, or whatever, and jobs, but that doesn't make any sense because somebody would be around to kind of take care of the place. And I honestly thought that they would get jumped or something like that. Maybe somebody from the guild would show up, and then suddenly Toka would show up and wipe them. That doesn't happen. We find out that Toka is actually on a giant galleon ship, presumably with Fairy Tail in tow, with everybody on the ship. She's on her way to Giltana and is looking for Natsu and the rest of the fairies, and she's going to wipe them out. And that's where we end it. So honestly, I think the next chapter is going to be back to just Natsu and the gang just kind of moving on to their next thing. Maybe they'll get a hint from Mercuphobia as to where the next god dragon is. There'll probably be some lingering thoughts of Ignia and whatnot, but I'm sure that we'll just kind of have another transition chapter going forward. Yeah, I mean, that's really this entire chapter in a nutshell. A lot of stuff happens. You got Natsu and the gang kind of having some falling action with Mercuphobia. You have Eleftheria kind of realizing that maybe they can do this quest. And then you have the Diablos Guild and the Dumb Skull guy, basically just being baddies. They're baddies, whatever. And finally, Toka and also being baddie. I don't know. Either way, I liked it as kind of a resolution chapter. I thought it was fun in certain parts. Don't care for the golden shower stuff. But overall, I thought it was an okay chapter. I thought it was a pretty good chapter, actually. Yeah, that's all I gotta say about this chapter. Let me know what you guys thought down below in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to see more from me, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you'll get all kinds of notifications. I will see you guys in the next video, and I hope you have an awesome day. Bye-bye!